Good afternoon, guys, and happy Sunday to all of your sunshiny faces. I think I told you guys in yesterday's vlog that I would not have a jewel haul for you guys today because one, my dad was working, so we weren't able to go, and then my mom, she needs to go and pick up a couple things at Walmart for Jack's graduation party. And so I had asked her yesterday if we could just go to there and jewel, because I honestly, jewel, I only have like a couple things to get, like maybe 5 or so at most, like 5 different things, and so there was not very much going on there this week. But I asked her if we could go on Monday, tomorrow, so that we can go and run both of those errands. So that's the plan. And the other reason too why I did not really want to go today was because I just wanted to be lazy today. I did not want to do anything. Matthew ended up, you know, he was home like since yesterday, and after all of the hard work that I put in for the last 3 days straight with all of the getting 4 of those sheets of plywood upstairs all screwed down in the heat, which I was telling you guys too, it was hotter upstairs in the unair conditioned, you know, second floor than it was outside those 2 days. It was like, so it was kind of ridiculous, and so I definitely ended up, you know, tired and worked up a sweat and all that those 2 days. And then yesterday I ended up weeding one of those garden beds that were outside, which even though I think I was telling you guys, it was like 90% of it wasn't even weeds. It was just all dead stuff that I needed to get out of there, that was either just like the dead plants or leaves too, just like leaves that blew into the garden, and so they just didn't get cleaned out from like last fall, and so I needed to get that, which it's a pain to try and do when you have very mature plants that are in there now, because, you know, we're in June already and the garden is not, you know, like things aren't just popping up out of the ground. It's not easy to get the leaves out and, you know, out of the beds and all that kind of stuff. So that wasn't so much the difficult part, really. It was the vinca vine that we have outside, and cutting all of that back, and like trimming out all the dead stuff. That's the biggest pain, I think. And that was the most difficult part of the whole day yesterday. And then, like I said too, trying to do it around everything else, so I wasn't pulling things, you know, out that weren't supposed to be pulled out. And then also too, because there were some of the rocks, like we have the rocks like sort of edge the like garden bed to the sidewalk around there, and the rocks too, there was stuff that was growing in between the rocks, like plants. It still, again, wasn't even weeds. Like I found maybe 5 dandelions in there and that was pretty much it. But the we had like bishop's weed and vinca vine that was actually growing in between like the rocks, and so I need to pull that stuff out because I didn't want it like all the way in, almost in the sidewalk, because again too, when the stuff either gets droopy or like the vinca vine too, it just kind of vines, you wind up with it all in the sidewalk. So I did that yesterday too, and then I blew everything off the sidewalk into kind of a pile, and then Jack cleaned it up yesterday. I know I mentioned that in yesterday's vlog, but just because of all that, and again too, it was hot out yesterday, you know, I was just like, I am, you know, not going to do anything today. And on top of that too, it was raining. So my dad never set down the other piece of plywood anyway, so I couldn't work upstairs. And he needs to get it all like, you know, situated and like that kind of stuff, so that I can come in and screw everything down. And like the pieces that need to be cut and like that kind of stuff. And then, like I said, he didn't end up getting that done. But then on top of that, it was raining outside. So even if I had wanted to, I wasn't able to really do anything in the garden today. But like I said, because I pretty much knew that anyway, I was like, Sunday I'm taking a much needed break. And tomorrow too, I'm kind of taking a break. We're just going to the stores tomorrow. That's kind of the only, I guess, event that I have planned for tomorrow. Because like I said, it was like I just felt so tired today. And like it was just so weird. I was like, I've never like laid around and just felt so tired and not done anything if I didn't do something like earlier in the day, if that makes sense. Like, you know, if it wasn't like, oh, I was outside gardening, or, you know, like weeding a flower bed, or, you know, I wasn't, you know, like, I don't know, cleaning the bathroom, or, you know, again, doing like project stuff upstairs or whatever it was, and then like, you know, taking a shower and then laid in the living room, and then I felt like that tired, like after like I do a lot of stuff and get a lot of things done, you know, and a lot of, again, manual labor, and like then I'll feel as tired as I did today. Today I just felt that tired because, like I said, I think it was 3 days straight of doing that. And so again, while I'm proud of myself for getting all that done, like I said, sometimes you have to know when to take a rest, and so I ended up doing that today, and like I said, probably tomorrow as well. Like maybe I might possibly think about getting the one bed near the front door taken care of, only because there's really not that much stuff in there, and it's supposed to be fairly cool tomorrow. Like today it was actually very cool. It was only like in the 60s. Tomorrow's kind of supposed to be the same thing, but it's not supposed to rain tomorrow. So like I said, if I can get out there, that would be really awesome, but I'm not really sure that, like I said, I'm even feeling that up to it. But then even on Tuesday, it's not supposed to be that bad either. It's supposed to still be kind of cooler, like in the 70s. Like I think yesterday was like in the 80s. So and then I think by Wednesday it's supposed to get back up in the 80s. So again, I'm not looking forward to that, but you know, if I can, like I said, try and maybe get to those, you know, the bed near the front door, I can probably, you know, maybe do that, because that one I'm hoping isn't going to take me more than like a half an hour. Whereas like yesterday, just again too, it wasn't even like that anything was super difficult to do outside. It was just the amount of time that I spent out there. Like I probably spent 2 hours outside. And normally that bed, honestly, because again too, there's normally not that many weeds, so long as all the dead stuff is again cleaned up and all that, it normally doesn't take me more than half an hour. Like normally I do that bed super quick, and then I move on and I go and do something else, like another bed. And you know, normally I'll do the big bed, which is already done and taken care of, so I don't have to do that. But like because of it, you know, it's normally one of the fastest beds to do, so that's why I was like, oh yeah, like I'll just do that on Saturday. It'll take me like, you know, again, no time at all. It'll be really quick. I can just get that done with. And then, you know, like again, we were planning on going to the movies yesterday, which we ended up doing, and so I was just like, yeah, I can get all that done really quick, and it ended up taking me a lot longer than I'd expected. But like I said, that was because of just everything that we didn't get done in the fall last year. Now it's like I'm kind of paying for it right now, because we didn't do a very good job of cleaning up the beds in the fall. So I'm hoping to stay on top of that a little bit more, you know, like this fall, and getting all that kind of stuff cleaned up. It was just like, it was weird. I feel like too, because of football, like we didn't have that much time, and then too, was all of a sudden I was like it was just really cold outside. Like there wasn't a really good day where it was like, oh, it's still like 60s out. And like I also don't want to trim out like any of the you know, like flowers and stuff like that, or you know, again, any of the you know, like the stuff that's kind of dying down if it's not yet. So I don't want to do it too early, but then again too, I don't want to do it too late where it's like 30 degrees outside and I'm trying to get all this stuff done out in the garden. So again, I'm thinking like maybe the beginning of November would be a good time potentially to do it. And again too, it depends on how warm it stays and how long it stays warm. You know, like if it's still like, you know, in the 50s in November, then that seems kind of weird, because again too, like sometimes the mums and like, you know, certain plants, they're hardier and will, you know, still last, and you know, that kind of stuff. It's funny because one of the plants that we had in the back, I think it's called a blanket flower, and we planted 2 of them, and then like only one was coming back. Now I don't think either of them have come back, and I don't really know why. They might have just kind of gotten crowded out in the bed behind, like next to our garage. But it was like doing really well. And the thing was too, is that I remember, I think I even maybe recorded it like 2 winters ago or something like that, where or maybe it was 3 winters ago, where it still had flowers on it and it was snowing, and it was like actually really cool though, like the way it looked. But I remember like one night I went outside to the garage for something, or maybe I just took the dogs out or something like that, and it had snowed like that night, and I was like, I can't believe this thing still has flowers on it. And it still like was like hardy enough that like the flowers like kind of still stuck around like several days or weeks even after it. And so like I said, I don't know why, and now I don't know why it didn't come back, because they were really cool like flowers and like the plant, but like I said, I don't really know why it didn't end up coming back, but I also don't know what happened to the first one that we planted. Like, we planted them on both sides of like the bush that's outside, and one kept coming back, and then on the other side, I don't even know if that one made it like after the first like spring, like after we planted it. I don't even know if it made it into like the summer. So like I said, I don't know, it was weird, but that was like, I think shortly after we kind of got all of our gardening stuff, kind of like we bought all of the plants, all of our new plants, and like I said, that one was for the most part doing pretty good, but it just, I don't know what happened to it. The one thing I would like to plant though, if we do get another one of those, because like I said, I liked it, is to plant it in the front, because we have, I think I was telling you guys, these resurrection lilies where the greens, they come out in the spring, and then by like at this point, kind of right now, they're kind of dying down. Then in the summer we will get just a one lily. It's just like a straight like shoot, like with just the stem and the flowers, and so like because it dies down and then comes back, it's called like a resurrection lily. And so because of that though, nothing around in that area, it looks really nice in the spring, but then when it dies, it's like, you know, there's nothing in that spot in the garden. And so I kind of want to find something though that will be like nice to have, that like comes in more in like later, if that makes sense. And I think that blanket flower, like I said, was like a later bloom, and so that would be nice if we could kind of have something that takes up that space of the lily, you know, in, you know, like in this kind of time right now where it would kind of be, you know, growing and blooming, even. And then, you know, like I said, the resurrection, the actual lily will come up. So like I said, that would be nice to have. I'd like to have something else there, because again, it just looks like a barren spot in the, what's it called, in the garden bed. And it looks like, and also too, like right now it looks like it's dying. It looks like we just don't take care of the garden. It looks kind of unkept, but then, you know, like I said, there's not much that you can do, because that's just how the plant is at the same time. So I don't really know what's the, you know, like my mom was saying the same thing too. She was like, we really need to figure out something to like plant there, but like maybe we do that, because like I said, I like that blanket flower, but I have no clue what happened to it. And or like I saw like a little bit of it, looked like it was coming back last year, but I have no clue now, like what, because I don't even think it ended up blooming. But again, it got big, like again, it kind of like blankets the garden bed there, which was nice. So like I said, I don't know what happened to it, but it's, you know, both of them now haven't made it. But the one on the one side, like I was saying, came back for at least like a good 2 or 3 years, and now it's not back there anymore. So like I said, I don't know, maybe it didn't like the soil that much, or you know, something, whatever. Maybe too, it just didn't like the plants also too that it was with, like I said, like either competition, or you know, it's just overcrowded. Like I was saying, going back to the you know, cutting everything back in the fall, we need to do a better job with that, I think, this year. And like also to clearing out the garden beds too, of like the leaves and like all that kind of stuff, because again, once everything kind of starts growing, it's hard to do that. And then we noticed the same thing too, well, not noticed, like we did the same thing too, I think we did last year, where we tried to put a lot of the mulch down, but we did it like too late once a lot of the plants had already started kind of growing. We need to do it very early on when stuff is just kind of poking out, so that it's easier to get the mulch down, and then when everything comes up, you know, like it just kind of, the mulch just kind of moves around it, I guess, a little bit, you know. And so instead of trying to like mulch around the plants, if we mulch earlier, it's better, I think. So anyways, I'm gonna take a shower and get to bed, but I will see you guys all in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, I'd love if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye guys.